Since I'm starting the year off at the top of your Explorer. Are you not entertained? Since everybody want to put my business in the street, I might as well talk to you about my business. Right now, I am in the second phase of construction. We're not open to public. This is a raw space. I have not found out yet what I want to do exactly in this space, but in my mind, I was thinking of building like a little mart, but we'll see how that goes. Pull up though. Show you what we'll be doing. I'm building a multi-purpose content creation facility for media, fashion, music, and broadcasting. We have a boutique in here, real boutique. We almost finished the loading all fresh. The barbershop, that'll be done. Come on with it. I love free promo. As you can see, it's an open space. This is actually a studio. It's almost done. One side. It's gutted right now, so don't hold nothing against me. Show you little construction. All shit coats paper, you heard? I don't want nobody to think I'm in here, you know what I mean? It's crazy because, what we doing? The young boys usually be back there. The young boys don't feel no temperature, all they feel is opportunity. They still be here working in the midst of us working. So we're still in the midst of construction. Got a few things we're gonna be doing out here. We another studio we putting over here. Bodega, nice little fun street to film on, do broadcast. It's not even half of it. We got a whole nother half to film on, but what I'm trying to say is I've been happy to be able to invest in myself and something that I know is going to help a lot of other people. I'm not building this facility for myself. Yes, it is a business move. That's why I invested in myself. But I'm building a facility for all creatives and young ones that's trying to come up to be a creative or have a creative ability that they want to know how to double down on. It's like an X-Men school for all the fly people, if you say so yourself. So, you know, I appreciate the promo. I love free promo. You know, I ain't gonna miss a beat. You dig? It's cold in here. I love y'all, man.
First, find a steel drum and cut the top off of it. Next, you're gonna wanna drill 7.5-inch holes around the bottom for airflow. Then, you're gonna wanna get it burning really, really hot.
There's basically no chance left that Jim Jones and Camron ever fix this friendship again, not after what just went down. Jim went off on Camron during the No Rap Cap podcast, calling him soft, and Cam didn't waste a second firing back with slick comments about Jim's rental situation. Now things are spiraling fast, with wild Instagram back and forths popping off. Side characters like Freaky Zeke catching random heat, and somehow 50 Cent always ends up in the mix too. The tension feels explosive right now, and people are already asking how far this is really gonna go. Are we talking non-stop online shots, or does this turn into something bigger down the line, maybe even a boxing match someday? One thing's clear, this situation went full nuclear today. Jim Jones sat on No Rap Cap breaking down his issues with Camron, and the tone was anything but friendly. He was straight up calling Camron salt, trying to paint this picture like Cam wasn't really built like that at all. And of course, Cam responded in classic Cam fashion, extra petty, super calculated, and right on target. He brought up that whole landlord situation tied to the Let's Rap About It podcast, a story that 50 Cent was the one who pushed into the spotlight first. So once again, Jimmy ends up lighting the match himself. Jim Jones clearly didn't learn much from that last situation with 50, even after trying to brush it off and move past it with his co-hosts. Now he's doing the same thing all over again. For some reason, Jimmy keeps name-dropping his ops, poking holes, and pushing wild narratives online. And every time he does that, it circles back hard, with people dragging up something embarrassing that clearly hits a nerve. So what did Jimmy actually say, word for word, that set all this off? Let's roll the clip right now. Make sure you hit the like button and smash the hype button before we get into it. It was obvious Jimmy was fishing for rap smoke from the jump. He wanted this reaction, plain and simple, champ. There's no way you jump on that podcast thinking Camron wouldn't respond at all. Cam is known as one of the kings of petty, and when it comes to beef, he takes it all the way every single time. It doesn't matter if it's Jim Jones, who looks like his main rival right now, Cam is always ready to spin back hard. Things went back and forth non-stop, with random people catching strays and outside names getting pulled into the mess.
Cam used to be scared to death of them niggas to the point he didn't want to come outside. I didn't understand it because I'm from downtown. You heard? We had our own set of killers.
The Rap Cat Podcast.
Dame Impact in Harlem was nothing. Not to say it like that. Dame came up under hustlers that Impact was it. He was a little dude when it came to hustling in Harlem. He wasn't not no Rich Porter, none of that type of. He wanted to hustle. He wanted to hustle for niggas like Rich Porter and shit like that. Dame from the East Side. When the niggas on the East Side is different from the niggas on the West Side. Now for the East Side, Dame was a big deal to us because we were little when he was coming from the West Side, little car, jewelry, and all that. So when you're young, he's looking like Rich Porter, but in reality, no, he was like this nigga, go to the store, nigga, take a couple grams, get out of here.
The Rap Cat Podcast.
When he canceled out the street side of it and go into the music business of it, what was his impact with Dipset at that time?
He didn't have no impact with Dipset. Dipset, we made our impact on our own.
When y'all came over to Rockefeller, did y'all bring a certain energy that kind of ruffled the feathers of like state property and people like that?
When we came over to Rockefeller, it was all love. Everybody in the studios doing music, state property, Fleek and them, diplomats. Everybody was doing music there. That shit ain't started until they went through all that damn
shit. But Joel said Cam took over the rock, huh?
I mean, in that sense,
The Rap Cat Podcast.
Mace was talented. He was a dancer. And Mace didn't excel at the rapping really to after high school, they started getting on and shit like that, and then he excelled and started getting on first and signed first, and then I helped Cam and everybody get on and shit like that. But as far as making a name for themselves in the street, nobody had no name in the street like that. You know what I mean?
Big L.
Right. Big L had a name for himself. He was rapping early. He was signed early. He had some dangerous ass brothers. They was uptown, really shaking and moving and shit like that. You dig? And that's not my part of town. I was uptown. You dig? Yeah, Cam used to be scared to death of them niggas to the point he didn't want to come outside. I didn't understand it because I'm from downtown. You heard? We had our own set of killers.
Camron jumped on Instagram and clapped back saying, "How you worried about me when your heat off and rent due?" Jimmy fired right back, calling him a shoe punk, and Cam answered again with, "You worried about my heat? I'm warm. You 50 years old, tough and cold. Dead serious though." That's when it really started heating up. Jimmy kept spamming replies under Cam's post, dragging in Freaky Zeke, Camron's cousin and former Dipset affiliate, and even saying, "Your whole crew is soft," in the comments. At that point, Jimmy looked fully triggered by Cam's words. But the real question is, why did those comments hit such a nerve and set him off like that? Champ, this is exactly why Jimmy looked so triggered. Freaky Zeke jumped in the comments laughing. Nothing crazy, just a laughing emoji, and Jim instantly snapped back calling him soft. From there, Jimmy started pressing anybody who even laughed at the situation, like the jokes alone were enough to set him off. That's when things took another sharp turn. Jim dropped a wild comment saying, "You want to play? Pull up, let the people see how soft you are." Basically daring Camron to see him face to face, but Cam didn't back down at all. He clapped back hard saying, "You 50 and still want to pull up? I got the video of you breaking into your own studio trying to turn the heat on and chasing your landlord in his car because he wanted his rent." That response had the internet buzzing instantly. Cam went even further, claiming he has footage of Jim chasing the landlord tied to the building used for the Let's Rap About It podcast. The same situation where a voicemail allegedly mentioned over $200,000 in unpaid rent, a story 50 Cent previously brought up. If that footage really exists, this could get real ugly for Jim Jones fast. This might be one of the pettiest moments we've seen in years, and it's only getting worse, especially now that 50 Cent officially jumps into the chat. Another certified king of pettiness had to slide into this mess, and of course, it was 50 Cent. He dropped slick posts that had everyone talking, joking like, "I hope y'all can chip in and get the heat back on," basically clowning the whole situation. That alone made things look even worse, especially since all this was already bubbling behind the scenes. Jimmy really shouldn't have been talking reckless knowing this was sitting in the tuck the whole time. Real talk, if Jim Jones had just stayed quiet and not gone at people who are way more petty than him, this wouldn't be spiraling like this. Now there's talk of footage dropping, showing him chasing a landlord over heat and rent issues, and that's a nasty look no matter how you slice it. Folks online are saying this whole thing feels wild, especially seeing a grown man moving like he's still in his 20s instead of handling business clean. And just when you thought it stopped there, 50 popped back up with another sarcastic post saying he hopes Jim is all right under all that pressure, pointing out that Camron is laughing at him and throwing in a joking LOL. He even tossed in a fake peace vibe, hinting at everyone standing around the fire together like some kind of forced kumbaya moment. This situation is officially messy, loud, and nowhere near cooling off. And this is where the whole situation hits another level, because once 50 Cent starts joking, it's never just jokes, it's strategy. Every post feels calculated, like he's poking the bruise on purpose and letting the internet do the rest. Meanwhile, Camron is sitting back, laughing, watching the comments explode, knowing exactly how this looks from the outside. The real issue is that Jimmy let emotions take the wheel instead of moving smart. Once you challenge people publicly, once you start throwing pull-up energy online, there's no walking it back without looking shaky. And now the timeline is running with jokes, memes, and receipts all piling up at once. That pressure hits different when it's nonstop in public. What makes this worse is the age factor people keep bringing up, because the internet doesn't show mercy. Folks are questioning why Jim Jones is even entertaining this instead of shutting it down clean. This isn't just about words anymore, it's about pride, perception, and who looks in control. One thing's for sure, though, this beef is no longer private, no longer small, and it's officially turned into a full-blown internet spectacle. And here's where it really gets sticky, because once pride gets involved, logic usually disappears. Jim Jones isn't just responding anymore, he's reacting, and the internet can smell that a mile away. Every reply, every comment, every challenge just feeds the narrative that this hit closer to home than he wants to admit. At the same time, Camron is playing this calm but ruthless game, letting jokes and screenshots do the talking. He doesn't need to yell or threaten, he lets embarrassment carry the weight, and that's what makes it dangerous. When laughter replaces anger, it shifts the whole power balance instantly. And hovering over all of it like a shadow is 50 Cent, who knows exactly when to pop back in and twist the knife just a little more. He doesn't need long speeches. One caption, one post, and the whole timeline lights up again. At this point, it's not even about the original comment anymore. It's about control, ego, and who ends up looking unbothered when the dust settles. But we all know good and well this isn't calming down anytime soon. The pettiness is maxed out, and it's only getting worse from here. Now Camron is sitting on a video that allegedly shows Jim Jones chasing his landlord over the heat situation, and that alone has the internet going crazy. If that footage really drops, this is going to look real bad, real fast. Jimmy should have never even mentioned Cam, knowing exactly how he moves when it comes to situations like this. The wild part is, it doesn't even seem like Jim knew he was being recorded during that whole moment, which makes it even messier. This is one of those situations where things spiral quick, and now people are asking what happens next. Does this beef keep escalating? Is there any chance of peace? Or is this just non-stop trolling from here on out? And let's be honest, with 50 Cent still poking and joking, it feels like he's just pressing buttons on purpose to keep Jim heated. Are we going to see another freestyle, another viral moment, or does this turn into something totally unexpected down the line? Now I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me where you think this beef is headed. Make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe to Dripzine to stay locked in. And most importantly, hit that HYPETHISVIDEO button. It helps the channel grow in a major way. Thank you for rocking with us.